Roy's story is just one example of a new generation of young people choosing to make a difference in the world before they've even earned their first paycheck. Philanthropy and being a leader for social change is no longer about the big checks written by millionaires and billionaires. And full-frame contributor Sandra Hughes found that for this new generation of change makers, philanthropy often starts with small acts of kindness.
It can be as simple as baking cookies to raise money so sick children can go to camp. It's called charity, and many say the idea starts at home.
I honestly believe that kids want to give back and kids want to help others. And I think the earlier you start with them and you tap into that impulse, the easier it is as they get older for them to make time to do that in their lives. And they find that it's important and believe that it's important.
In Dawn Jefferson's suburban Los Angeles kitchen, her kids and their friends are hard at work on a Saturday morning.
2 more signs. We need some advertising signs and a price board sign.
They could be in front of the TV or playing video games, but instead they're following a recipe that will stay with them their entire lives.
Cookie, broken cookie.
It's a recipe that teaches kindness.
Thank you. Wait, here's some more.
What's this for?
This is for Camp Crescent. It's a camp for kids with sickle cell disease.
Every year, Camp Crescent Moon holds a one-week camp for kids with sickle cell disease. The Jeffersons have family members who suffer from the disease.
I feel like a lot more humbled by them, and I'm like really glad to do this to help them.
Sickle cell disease is a really horrible disease, and it's important to help people in need and help those in need who have this disease, or just anybody. And it's good to just raise money and then just donate and help them.
Hi.
The idea of motivating kids to be philanthropic may not be as hard as you'd think. This generation is already seeing examples of businesses doing good work all around them.
I hope that they will realize that no matter what they're doing in their lives, there is an opportunity to give back to others.
There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
When Tyler Page was 9 years old, he watched a TV show on child slaves in Ghana, West Africa. The next day, he took this invitation to school, inviting everyone to join in a car wash to raise money to help those kids.
I saw these kids all the way across, the world, and I was just kind of taken back and wow, not everyone has the life I have, and I wanted to do something to change that. And I turned to my mom and I said, hey, let's start this thing. let's do a car wash.
That was the start of Kids Helping Kids.
$1,129 for all the kids in Ghana. We can save 4 children right now, and we're gonna make more money throughout 2007.
Tyler and his mom went to Ghana and helped negotiate the release of several children who'd been sold into slavery by their own families.
So the fishermen would go to these families who have, 20 kids, and obviously they can't, make enough to support that huge number of family members. So they say, hey, I want to buy your child from you so you can support your family, and I'll teach them a trade, fishing, and then they'll come back and they'll be able to make money for them. And so they take them, and the parents thinking that they're going to be taught a valuable skill, and they force them to walk hundreds of miles to that fishing area where they never returned from.
Laura Page says while she'd always hoped her son would be a giving child concerned with his community, he plugged her into philanthropy.
I feel like the journey with him really opened up a door to my own passion and my own success. There are going to be activities in there. So we're going to start off by doing an activity in here right now.
She co-founded PeerSpring along with Lee Fox. The organization works with youth to teach them to become social entrepreneurs, giving them the tools to problem solve and create companies that make a difference. The idea of social entrepreneurism isn't new, but what is new is the explosion on American college campuses of programs for students to major in social entrepreneurism. But having a socially conscious career isn't uniquely American.
It's absolutely not just an American value proposition for youth activating around social entrepreneurship. The reality is that the same social and mobile technologies are penetrating youth at worldwide levels, and there is this natural impetus for peers to want to connect with one another and sort of group together and make a change. So I think the rise in social entrepreneurship is a phenomenon that we're seeing in large part due to that connectivity.
For 6 weeks, PeerSpring will teach this group of high schoolers how to be philanthropic social entrepreneurs.
Today's youth are really starting to identify with impact and organizations that have impact, and that word is a very powerful value statement for them. Nonprofit and charity doesn't mean much yet to them. They don't, it's not the tax break that they care about. It's the outcome of what that activity is that the organization is doing.
Many of today's youth seem already sold on the idea of giving back. Whether it's taught at home or it comes from seeing so many business models already in place, this generation appears already set on finding, funding, and fixing the problems of their world. For Full Frame, this is Sandra Hughes in Los Angeles.